Good. All right, let's move on to the next one. I think you've all got the hang of it, so bed out. So the next one, which you might have seen, is beef up. To beef something up is to make something stronger or more effective. So you might talk about a person beefing up. If a person beefs up, it means they get more muscly. So they beef up, they become stronger. And you can talk about things being beefed up. So you could talk about maybe in the example sentence, the security in a company being beefed up. You might beef up your car if you make changes and add things to make it stronger and more effective. So the example I've given here is, have you seen Peter lately? He has been going to the gym a lot with his new girlfriend. And, oh gosh, we're going right off the page here. Let me just widen this out for you so we can actually see it. He's been going to the gym a lot with his new girlfriend and has really beefed up. He's become stronger. We should consider giving him a job as a bouncer. Now, a bouncer is a security man. You would normally find them at pubs and clubs and bars if they're very busy at the weekends. Big muscly man who looks after the place and makes sure that no one misbehaves, keeps everyone safe. Security. So we should consider giving him a job as a bouncer, as we do need to beef up security at the club. We need to make security more effective. Okay? All right, so let's have a look at some of your examples. And one here has just caught my eye in the patron room. So Jose has said, Anna beefs up our English. That's very funny. Yes, good. That's a good example. But just make sure you spell this correctly. There's no E. Beefs, just FS at the end. And Marta, my English is beefing up. Thanks, Anna. You're welcome. Very good. I like that. Well done. Okay. So what are you guys saying on the YouTube chat room? My coach in the gym will beef up me for 3 months. So we need to adjust this particular sentence, and this was aptem. Sorry, it's written in characters that I don't recognize, so I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your name, but you've written this sentence here. You've said, my coach in the gym will beef up me for 3 months. So we need to move this around. Will beef me up. Will beef me up. Or you could say, will help me beef up. Will help me to beef up over the next 3 months. Okay? My coach in the gym will help me to beef up over the next 3 months. The next one on the list. This has 2 potential meanings, and it's the phrasal verb belong to. Let's have a nice sip of my tea. It's freezing cold in the UK at the moment. I was just out before I started teaching, and I'm cold to my bones, so I thought a nice hot cup of tea while teaching would warm me up. So, belong to, it can mean one of 2 things. It can mean you are a member of something. I belong to a group. I belong to a club. I belong to a team. Or it can mean that it is the property of something or someone. So, to be a member of something, nice and easy. We all belong to a special little community. Or I could say, I belong to a gymnastics club. I belong to a squash club. I belong to a special little group of English learners. Okay? And then to be the property of someone, you could say, this belongs to me. This belongs to me. That belongs to you. So that's right next to you now, that belongs to you, but this belongs to me. It's the property of me or you. And the example sentence I've given here is, this watch once belonged to your grandma. It now belongs to you. Nice and easy. So the next one's a fun one, and it is the phrasal verb belt out. To belt something out, I think I actually covered this in the slang phrases. To belt something out is to sing something loudly. And the example sentence I've given here, which is true, there is nothing I love more than belting out my favourite song in front of a crowded room. So a crowded room is a room full of people. So there's nothing that I love more than belting out my favourite song in front of a crowded room. Hopefully that makes sense. It means I really, really love to sing out loud in front of lots of people. To belong with. To belong with, to be in the correct or appropriate location with other items. So, for example, you could say that this lid on this pen belongs with the pen. This lid belongs with this pen. This lid does not belong with this pen because this is a black lid and this is a blue pen. However, the blue lid belongs with the blue pen. Okay, so this does not belong with that. This belongs with that. So that's nice and simple. Which items go together? Which ones belong with each other? You could also say that I belong with you. You belong with me. We belong together. And the example sentence I gave here was, the children belong with their mother and father. So we must make it a priority to reunite them. So there, I was imagining that I was a policewoman and I found 2 lost children and we don't know what to do with them. And I've said, look, they belong with their mother and father. We must make it a priority to reunite them. To reunite is to bring things that belong with each other back together. To bring them back together. Move on. Okay. And the next one, ooh, this is a good one. Now, the next one is to belt up. Belt up. This can be used in 2 ways. If I tell you to belt up, it's kind of a harsh way of saying be quiet. So it's not offensive. It's not swearing or anything like that. But if I say, hey, belt up, I'm saying stop making noise, stop talking or shouting or singing or whatever you're doing, stop it. I need some quiet, or I want you to just stop. It's like saying shut up. Now, both of these phrases, belt up, shut up, are a bit harsh. I wouldn't expect any of you to tell me to belt up. It would be a bit harsh. I'd be like, oh, it's a bit rude. And I wouldn't say to any of my students, belt up. I might say to my brothers and sisters, or to my children, if I had little children, I might say, hey, belt up. Your mother is very tired. I don't need to listen to you. Okay? So, belt up, a strong term for asking people to be quiet. So the example I gave here was, I can't hear myself think with all this noise. Will you boys please belt up for 2 minutes? Okay? Good. And the other example is to use it to mean fasten your seatbelt. So if you get into a car, you could say belt up just as a standalone order or request, meaning please fasten your seatbelts. Strap yourself in. Belt up. So, all right, guys, you're all in. Please belt up, and we're going to go. And the example I gave was, the first thing we do after we get into the car is belt up. Belt up. We got that one. So the next one is to bend down. To bend down. Now, I've got 2 coming up that are very similar, and the other one is to bend over. They're very, very similar because they mean lowering your body down to the ground. Now, if you bend down, it's very much meaning your upper body is lowering. And that could be bending down with bending the legs. It could be bending down just by leaning over one side. It could be bending down forwards. Some way lowering your body down. And the example sentence I've given here is, bend down and grab my handbag, please. Bend down and grab my handbag, please. Next one is bend over. Bend over. Now it's pretty much interchangeable with bend down. Bend down and bend over are pretty much the same, and you can use them interchangeably a lot. However, bend over more specifically means to take your upper body forwards, bending in the middle of your body. Let me give you an example. So, okay, I'll shout from over here. So this is bend down. This is bend over. Yeah? Bend down, bend over. But this can also be bend down. But this is always bend over. Yeah? While I'm here. Fix that. Okay. So, bend down and bend over, very, very similar. But bend over is always bending at the middle, practically keeping straight legs. And the example sentence I've given is here. And I've made a typo. Let's just correct that. So, I was bent over trying to tie my laces, but I suddenly felt dizzy and stumbled forwards, banging my head on the cupboard. Ouch. To big up. If you big something up, you exaggerate the quality, the importance, or a positive aspect of the thing or the person. So for example, I could say I have the most amazing cup. It does the most amazing things. It holds drinks better than any other cup in the world. The colours are so vibrant that anyone who sees this cup will want this cup. And it also makes everything inside the cup taste better than anything in the world. It's amazing. Like, you should pay so much money for one of these because they're amazing. I'm bigging it up. It's just a cup. So I'm exaggerating how good it is. I could also big up a person. I could big up myself. I could say, hey guys, I'm like amazing. I should be like on every television all over the world. I should be on all the radio stations. I'm an amazing singer. I'm an amazing dancer. I can play tennis like Serena Williams. I am like as good as Mariah Carey when I sing. I'm really great and I'm really strong. I can do 25 pull-ups on one hand. So I'm bigging myself up. Of course, it's not true. I'm exaggerating. So big up. And the example sentence I've given here. She bigs him up a lot, but he really isn't as talented as she makes him out to be. She bigs him up a lot, but he really isn't as talented as she makes him out to be. Right, so the very last one. Quite an important one to know. You might have come across it before. There are two versions, two meanings for this particular phrasal verb, and it's blackout. Blackout. Now, a blackout can mean that you fall unconscious. Gone. You just black out. So you become unconscious all of a sudden. Or it can mean to lose light. So if suddenly the electricity was turned off, so my house no longer had electricity, everything would go dark. I would lose all the light. And therefore, we would describe it as having a blackout. Okay? And here are the two examples for those meanings. So for falling unconscious, Harry blacked out a lot when he was a teenager, but never as an adult. So Harry was falling unconscious a lot when he was a teenager, but he's never done it as an adult. And for losing light, can you imagine if there was a blackout while we are watching the horror film tonight? That would be so scary, wouldn't it?